Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
In the United States, there is a very big mountain called Mount Rushmore. It is in a state called South Dakota. On this mountain, you can see the faces of 4 important American presidents. These faces are very large and are carved into the stone. They are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. These 4 presidents are famous for important things they did for the country. Mount Rushmore is visited by many people every year. It is a national memorial. It helps people remember important parts of American history. The faces have been on the mountain for many, many years. Recently, a famous American leader who has been president 2 times had a special wish. He wanted his face to be added to the mountain next to the other 4 presidents. This dream became a topic of discussion for many people. This idea of adding a 5th face is a big question. Is it possible to carve another face into the hard rock of Mount Rushmore? Are there reasons why this cannot happen? People began to ask if the mountain has space and if the rock is strong enough. Also, people wondered if it is the right thing to do. This book will tell the story of this idea and explore the many reasons why adding another face is very, very difficult, or maybe not possible at all. 2. A big dream. President Donald Trump developed a strong interest in Mount Rushmore during his first time serving as the country's leader. He visited the monument on several occasions and often spoke publicly about how much he admired the 4 presidents carved there. He shared his personal wish, describing it as a significant dream to someday see his own face added to the famous mountainside. A notable moment related to this dream occurred when Kristi Noem, who served as a representative from South Dakota and later held an important position in the government, gave him a special gift. This gift was a unique model of Mount Rushmore. What made it special was that it featured a 5th face, President Trump's face, included on the granite surface alongside the original 4 presidents. This personal gesture highlighted the idea of adding his likeness to the national monument. The dream then began to move towards becoming an official proposal. On January 28, 2025, shortly after he started his 2nd period as president, a representative from the state of Florida named Anna Paulina Luna introduced a formal proposal in the House of Representatives. The proposal was officially called House Resolution 792. It asked the Secretary of the Interior, the government official in charge of national parks and lands, to make plans for carving President Trump's face on Mount Rushmore National Memorial. The proposal noted that President Trump served as both the 45th and 47th president. It listed his accomplishments in areas like the economy and national security as reasons for this honor. Supporters of the proposal felt his leadership had a major historical effect on America. The official plan was sent to a specific committee in the House of Representatives that deals with natural resources and public lands. While the plan faced questions, it also gained support from some important individuals within the government administration. Notably, the Secretary of the Interior at the time, Doug Burgum, publicly spoke about the idea. In an interview, Secretary Burgum stated that he believed there was definitely room on the mountain to add a fifth presidential face. This public comment from the top official overseeing the National Park Service indicated a level of government support for the proposal, marking a significant step in the effort to make the big dream a reality. 3. A big problem. The mountain that holds the famous faces is made of rock that is extremely old. It is called granite rock, and it formed about 1,700,000,000 years ago. This granite rock was chosen because it is mostly strong for carving. But even strong rock can have problems. Experts have studied the mountain closely for many years. They know the rock is not perfect for adding new things. There are many cracks in the granite. Engineers have found more than 100 large cracks around the four faces. These cracks are like lines that go deep into the rock. Also, the granite has places with different materials mixed in. These materials are like softer stone or crystals that are not as strong as the granite. These spots make the rock weak in certain areas. People who know about carving mountains say adding a new face is a very hard job. It is also dangerous. To carve, workers use special tools to drill holes and break the rock. This work causes the mountain to shake and move a little. This shaking and the removal of rock can make the cracks that are already there start to move or become larger. When rock is taken away, it can also remove the natural support for other parts of the mountain. This is a big risk for the faces of the four presidents already carved: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Their faces are fixed in the rock. If the rock around them becomes unstable, the faces could be damaged. They could crack more or even break. Experts worry that carving a new face could easily hurt the faces already there. To carve a new face that is big enough to see, a very large amount of rock must be removed from the mountain. Experts say this could be hundreds of thousands of tons of stone. This is a huge amount of material. Taking away so much rock requires a lot of drilling and breaking. The process of removing this rock would send strong shaking waves through the entire mountain. This could make the existing weak spots weaker and cause big problems for the whole monument. Experts, like the engineers and geologists who monitor the mountain, say it is extremely difficult, maybe not possible, to safely add another large carving. The physical condition of the mountain itself is the main reason. The many cracks, the weak spots in the rock, and the danger of the carving process make it a very big problem for the famous monument. The rock shows that adding a fifth face is very risky and might not work without damaging the important faces already there. This is the hard reality the dream must face. 4. The four famous faces. The mountain holds four famous faces carved in stone. These are four important men who served as presidents of the United States during key times in its history. The artist, a sculptor named Gutzon Borglum, carefully selected these four figures to represent different stages of America's development and ideals. The first face is George Washington. He was the nation's first president and is seen as the leader who guided the country at its very beginning, establishing the foundations of its democratic system. The second face is Thomas Jefferson. As the third president, he played a big role in the growth of the country, adding vast new territories. He also wrote important documents with ideas about freedom and the rights of people that shaped the nation. The third face belongs to Abraham Lincoln. He was president during the American Civil War, a time of great division. His leadership helped keep the country together and end slavery, changing America forever. The fourth face is Theodore Roosevelt. Serving in the early 20th century, he represented America becoming a strong power on the world stage. He was known for his energy and for creating laws to protect nature and control big businesses. Gutzon Borglum believed the monument should tell the story of America's past through these great leaders. He felt it was important to choose presidents whose time in office and impact on history were well understood and recognized. He wanted the memorial to honor lasting American ideals, not temporary political ideas. His first vision for the carving was larger. He wanted to show more than just the heads. But the stone on the mountain had parts that were not good for carving deeply. Because of this, Mr. Borglum had to change his original plans and carve only the faces. The rock also caused challenges for the details. For instance, President Jefferson's face was first started in one place, but the stone was weak. So it had to be moved to another spot. The way President Lincoln's beard and hair looks is partly because of the type of rock there. Over many years, people have sometimes suggested adding other presidents to the famous mountain. In the 1990s, some people thought about adding Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the country through difficult times like the Great Depression and World War II. Later, there were suggestions for Ronald Reagan, remembered by many for his role in the late 20th century, including the end of the Cold War. However, adding more faces never happened. The four presidents chosen by the sculptor long ago are the only ones carved into the rock. The mountain is considered a finished work of art. 5. People disagree. When people heard about the idea of adding a fifth face to Mount Rushmore, they had very different opinions. This started many discussions across the country. Some people strongly supported the president and wanted him on the mountain. They felt he did great things for the United States during his time as president. They said his decisions helped the economy and made the country stronger. They believed he was a bold leader. These supporters thought the president had a very important effect on America, just like the first 4 presidents on the mountain. They thought adding him to the monument would be a good way to remember his important actions and his place in history. They felt he deserved this special honor. However, many other people did not agree at all. They were strong critics of the president. They did not think he should be on the mountain. They looked at things he did or said that they thought were wrong. They felt he did not represent the good things about the country. They said his behavior and actions were not like the president's already carved there. They felt his time as president caused many problems. Also, many people who study history said that compared to other presidents, this president was not seen as one of the greatest leaders the country has had. Native American tribes who live near the mountain also shared their feelings. For them, the Black Hills area, including the mountain, is holy land. It is a very important place for their culture and religion. They feel that the land was taken from them a long time ago against agreements. The faces on the mountain are already a difficult sign for them because they represent this history. Adding another face would be like adding more disrespect to their sacred place. The tribal leaders often said they did not want any changes made to the mountain. The whole idea led to a big cultural talk in America. People asked important questions. What should a monument like Mount Rushmore represent? Should it only show presidents from the distant past who are seen as founders or saviors of the nation? Or can it also honor modern presidents who had a big impact, even if people disagree about them? This argument showed how people have very different views on America's history, its heroes, and what is important for the future. It was clear that not everyone agreed on who deserves a place on such a famous monument. 6. New ideas for the mountain. People were looking for different ways to honor a president. This was because adding a new face to Mount Rushmore by carving the rock was very difficult. Experts knew the mountain had many problems inside the stone, like cracks and weak parts. Trying to carve more could hurt the 4 faces already there. Because the rock was such a big problem, people thought about new ideas. One idea was to use modern technology. They could use strong lights called digital projectors. These lights could show a picture or face onto the mountain surface. This could be done at night or for special events. Using light means nothing is cut from the rock. The mountain stays safe. It is a temporary way to show a face. Another idea was to find a completely different place. The Black Hills area has many mountains. Maybe one of them could be used for a new carving. This new monument could be for the president. It would be separate from Mount Rushmore. This would let the famous 4 faces stay as they are, while creating a new place to honor a different leader on a new mountain. A third idea was to build a large statue near the mountain. Instead of carving into the stone, they could build a big figure from materials like metal or strong stone. This statue could be placed on the ground nearby. It could be as large as the faces on Mount Rushmore. Building a statue would be a big art project that does not change the mountain itself. The biggest alternative idea was to create a new large memorial area. This idea was called the Garden of American Heroes. It could be built in the Black Hills. This garden would honor many important people from the country's history, not just one president. It could have statues, gardens, and other art. A president could be included here with many other famous Americans. This would be a totally new national memorial site. These ideas showed that people wanted to find a way to honor a president without hurting the old mountain. They used creativity and looked at different ways, from using light to finding new places or building statues. These alternative plans offered possible solutions to the hard problem of working with the mountain's challenging rock. They offered paths that could work while keeping the original monument safe. 7. Money and rules. Adding a face to Mount Rushmore would need a lot of money. It is a very big and difficult job. Experts who understand building and working with mountains say it could cost a very large amount. Some estimates are more than $1 billion. This high cost is because the work is complicated. It needs special heavy machines, highly trained workers, and strict safety rules because it is high on a mountain. The price of materials and labor is also much higher today than many years ago when the first 4 faces were made. The mountain is not just a piece of rock. It is a national memorial. This means it is under the care of the government and protected by many laws. These laws are in place to keep the monument and the nature around it safe. One important law protects old places. Mount Rushmore is listed as a historic place, so changing it needs special permission after careful review. Another set of laws focuses on the environment. Any big building project must first have a study. This study looks at how the work will affect everything in nature, like plants, animals, air quality, and water. This environmental study takes a long time to complete and makes the project more expensive. There are also special rules about talking to certain groups. The Black Hills area, where Mount Rushmore is located, is sacred land for Native American tribes, especially the Lakota Sioux. Federal law says the government must talk with these tribes about plans for the land. Their historical and spiritual connection to the area is very important. All these laws and rules lead to many possible legal problems. If the government decided to add a face, many different groups could strongly disagree and take action. Groups that protect nature might file lawsuits based on the environmental study. Native American tribes might take legal steps because the land is sacred. Groups that work to save history might also go to court, saying the change hurts the monument's meaning. These legal challenges can cause long delays and add significantly to the project's cost. Therefore, even if the mountain rock was perfect for carving, the huge amount of money needed and the complex system of laws and rules make adding a face very hard. It requires not just political will, but overcoming major financial and legal barriers. Getting all the necessary studies done, receiving permissions, and dealing with potential lawsuits is a long and difficult process. This is why money and rules present a significant challenge to the idea of adding a fifth face. 8. The end of the story. The dream of adding a fifth face to Mount Rushmore met with many difficulties. The biggest problems were found in the mountain itself. The rock is very old, formed billions of years ago. Experts studied the mountain carefully. They found many cracks and weak areas in the stone. There are parts of the rock that are not strong enough for carving, like flaky stone or areas with softer crystals. Carving a new face would mean using machines and maybe explosives. Engineers explained that this could shake the mountain. It could make the cracks bigger. This was a big risk. It could damage the faces of the 4 presidents already there. The safety of the existing monument was the most important thing. Also, the sculptor who made Mount Rushmore finished his work many years ago. He chose the 4 presidents for special reasons, representing important parts of American history. Many people see the monument as a complete work of art, not something to add to. Money was another big problem. Making a new face would cost a lot, maybe even more than $1 billion. There are also many laws to protect the mountain and the land around it. Getting permission would be very hard and take a long time. Because of the hard rock, the high cost, and the rules, adding a new face seems almost impossible. The story of this dream shows how we remember important people. Should old monuments change, or should we find new ways to honor leaders today? It makes us think about history and how to show respect. Do you think modern presidents should be added to historical monuments, or should we create new ones to honor them?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.